Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders refuses suiting up following what sources describe as unprecedented disrespect from head coach Kevin Stefanski after Saturday's Rams preseason matchup. This isn't typical rookie adjustment tension. This represents complete organizational implosion. Instantly, you recognize this transcends quarterback competition toward franchise-defining crisis. For those tracking Cleveland's preseason trajectory from championship aspirations toward dysfunction, this story delivers everything. If you believe Browns finally escaped quarterback controversy, think again. The incident reportedly erupted Saturday evening inside visitors' locker room at SoFi Stadium. Multiple sources describe Stefanski's post-game address taking unexpected turn following Sanders' statistically impressive performance: 18 completions, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against Rams starting defense. Rather than acknowledging production, Stefanski allegedly criticized specific third-quarter decisions, questioning Sanders' progression reads, audible selections, pocket management, words carefully chosen for maximum impact, tone deliberately confrontational. Veterans exchanged uncomfortable glances. Assistant coaches remained silent. Then Stefanski delivered killing blow, announcing Dillon Gabriel would receive increased first-team repetitions moving forward. Sanders' response stunned everyone present. Without speaking, he removed shoulder pads, collected belongings, exited facility. No emotional outburst, no verbal confrontation. Simply calculated departure communicating volumes. We're hearing Stefanski initially dismissed reaction as rookie frustration. Hours later, reality crystallized. Sanders wasn't returning. Team officials scrambled contacting his representatives, messages unreturned, calls unanswered. The fifth-round phenomenon effectively vanished from Browns' organization overnight. Don't misinterpret circumstances. According to individuals familiar with Sanders' mindset, this represents culmination of systematic disrespect dating to draft night. Despite ownership's public endorsement, coaching staff's resistance remained obvious. Limited first-team opportunities, abbreviated playbook installation, constant reminders about earning position despite superior performances. Sanders absorbed everything silently, channeling frustration into preparation, transforming doubt into motivation. Saturday's public criticism apparently exceeded tolerance threshold. One source close to Sanders stated bluntly, he feels disrespected, and until that changes, he's not stepping on the field. Let's examine this impact, because ramifications extend beyond typical position battle drama. Initially, the practice field transformation. Sources report Sanders refusing participation in team activities, declining trainer consultations, avoiding facility entirely. His absence creates immediate quarterback vacuum. Gabriel receives default first-team repetitions, yet teammates recognize circumstances lack legitimacy. Offensive linemen openly question protection assignments. Receivers express confusion regarding route adjustments. The carefully orchestrated training camp rhythm instantly disrupted. Such discord resists quick resolution, potentially contaminating entire season preparation. Secondly, public perception explosion. Browns supporters erupting across digital platforms. #FreeShedeur trending nationally within hours. #Start12 flooding comment sections. Season ticket holders threatening cancellations. Local sports radio overwhelmed with furious callers demanding Stefanski's termination. For Cleveland's exhausted fan base, this represents ultimate betrayal. They witnessed decades of quarterback incompetence. They endured countless failed experiments. Finally, legitimate talent arrives. Ownership endorses him, yet coaching staff apparently sabotages everything. One viral tweet captured sentiment perfectly. Only the Browns could draft their franchise QB and run him out of town before week 1. Here's where complications intensify exponentially. The power structure examination. Jimmy Haslam's previous declaration supporting Sanders now appears hollow, given coaching staff's apparent autonomy. Sources claim Haslam privately furious regarding situation, questioning how Stefanski's criticism reached this point without intervention. General Manager Andrew Berry positioned impossibly between ownership demanding Sanders' return and coaching staff defending disciplinary decisions. We're hearing emergency meetings convened Sunday morning, voices raised, accusations exchanged. The organizational unity carefully constructed throughout off-season evaporated instantly. This transcends quarterback preference individually. This represents Cleveland Browns' institutional failure manifesting spectacularly. People familiar with internal dynamics suggest Stefanski's criticism reflected broader coaching frustration. Regarding ownership interference, his post-game comments allegedly represented authority assertion, establishing coaching prerogatives despite front office preferences. Instead, he potentially triggered franchise-altering crisis. Remarkably, several veteran players privately support Sanders' stance, recognizing disrespectful treatment despite maintaining public neutrality. Let's address Saturday's performance warranting such controversy. Sanders demonstrated exceptional capability against legitimate NFL defense. His pocket presence remained composed despite consistent pressure. Ball placement allowed receivers maximum catch radius. Decision-making reflected advanced processing speed unusual for preseason debuts. Most impressively, his command directing protection adjustments, identifying defensive rotations, exploiting coverage weaknesses. Multiple Rams defenders acknowledged difficulty defending Sanders' quick-release timing. One cornerback stated post-game, "That kid's legit. He's seeing things most rookies miss entirely." Yet Stefanski apparently identified different narrative. Sources present described coach highlighting specific plays, demonstrating immaturity and recklessness. 3rd and 7 conversion attempt forcing intermediate throw despite checkdown availability. Red zone scramble risking unnecessary contact. Audible changing run play toward pass against goal line defense. Technically accurate criticisms perhaps, yet contextually tone-deaf given overall excellence. Veterans privately questioned Stefanski's timing, wondering why public criticism necessary following victory. One offensive lineman reportedly told teammates, "Coach killed that kid's confidence for no reason." Gabriel's positioning becomes increasingly complex amid controversy. The 3rd-round selection maintains professional approach, accepting increased opportunities while avoiding inflammatory comments. Yet everyone recognizes his elevation stems from Sanders' absence rather than superior performance. His preseason statistics remain respectable, completion percentage adequate, turnover avoidance consistent, leadership presence developing, but explosive plays, game-changing moments, franchise-altering potential. Those qualities remain Sanders' exclusive domain. Gabriel understands this reality, creating awkward dynamic where he's simultaneously benefiting from yet uncomfortable with current circumstances. Beyond immediate quarterback implications, examining organizational culture reveals deeper dysfunction. The Browns supposedly transformed from laughingstock toward contender through careful culture construction. Stefanski preached accountability, consistency, collaborative decision-making, yet current situation exposes fundamental contradictions. Ownership makes declarations. Coaching staff resists. Players choose sides. Media amplifies discord. Where's the carefully cultivated culture now? Sources described facility atmosphere as toxic with clear divisions emerging between Sanders supporters and Stefanski loyalists. Don't assume straightforward resolution exists. Sanders' representatives reportedly established clear parameters for potential return, public apology from Stefanski, guaranteed starting position, increased input regarding offensive game planning. These demands seem reasonable given circumstances, yet they fundamentally challenge traditional coaching authority. Stefanski accepting such terms establishes precedent where players dictate organizational decisions, refusing risks, losing generational talent while facing fan base revolt. No winning scenario emerges. The financial implications demand consideration. Sanders' 5th-round contract provides 4-year team control at minimal cost. Losing him now means sacrificing valuable asset without compensation. Potential trade partners already circulating inquiries, recognizing Cleveland's weakened negotiating position. Meanwhile, Watson's albatross contract continues haunting salary cap, limiting flexibility, addressing other roster needs. The Browns potentially squandering cost-controlled quarterback solution through sheer organizational incompetence. Front office executives throughout league watching amazed at Cleveland's self-destruction. This situation reshapes quarterback evaluation dynamics league-wide. Every organization examining their rookie development protocols, coaching communication strategies, ownership involvement boundaries. Sanders establishing precedent where talented prospects refuse accepting disrespectful treatment regardless of draft position. His stance empowers future quarterbacks, demanding professional respect immediately rather than earning basic courtesy. Revolutionary concept perhaps, yet resonating throughout younger generation, prioritizing respect over traditional hierarchies. Veterans observe situation recognizing broader implications. Myles Garrett reportedly addressed Team Sunday, emphasizing unity despite circumstances, his message carefully neutral, avoiding explicit support while acknowledging tension's impact. Other captains similarly attempting stabilization without choosing sides. Yet privately, conversations revealed genuine concern. One defensive starter told reporters, "We finally have real talent at quarterback, both guys actually, and we're destroying everything before games matter." Social media transformed into battlefield with national figures weighing in, former players criticizing Stefanski's approach, media personalities debating Sanders' response appropriateness. The discourse frequently becomes toxic, with racial undertones emerging regarding entitlement versus accountability. Coach Prime himself posted cryptic message Sunday evening, "Real ones recognize real disrespect. Stand tall." The interpretation seems obvious, essentially endorsing his son's stance while avoiding direct confrontation. Monday morning arrives with Browns facility resembling demilitarized zone, security increased, media credentials restricted, players entering through alternate entrances avoiding cameras. Sanders remains absent. Gabriel takes first-team snaps while reporters document every throw. Stefanski's scheduled press conference postponed indefinitely. Barry nowhere visible. Haslam's private jet spotted departing Berea, heading toward Colorado. Speculation explodes regarding potential direct negotiation with Sanders' family. Inside meeting rooms, coaches attempt maintaining normalcy while addressing elephant's absence. Offensive coordinator struggles installing game plans without knowing quarterback identity. Position coaches navigate awkward dynamics with Gabriel knowing his temporary elevation. Defensive coaches privately express frustration, watching offensive dysfunction overshadow their championship caliber unit preparation. Special teams coordinator jokes darkly about emergency quarterback preparations. Nobody laughs. The player's perspective provides fascinating insight. Younger teammates largely support Sanders, relating to generational shift, prioritizing respect over traditional submission. Veterans remain divided between process respect and talent recognition. Offensive skill players particularly frustrated, recognizing Sanders' ability, maximizing their potential. One receiver stated anonymously, "Shedeur makes throws, Dylan can't." That's not disrespect, that's reality. Another countered, "Coach knows what he's doing. Shedeur needs to fall in line." Meanwhile, external pressure intensifies exponentially. Local businesses, with Sanders merchandise, report massive sales increases. Billboard companies receive inquiries about free Shedeur advertising campaigns. Sports bars announce boycotts if Sanders doesn't start. Season ticket holders organize social media campaigns threatening mass cancellations. The economic impact becomes tangible, with partnership deals contingent upon Sanders' participation now jeopardized. Corporate sponsors privately expressing concerns about brand association with dysfunctional organization. Behind scenes, negotiations continue through intermediaries. Sanders' camp maintains firm position. Respect must be demonstrated publicly before any return consideration. Stefanski's supporters argue coaching authority cannot be undermined regardless of talent. Ownership wants immediate resolution, preserving both quarterback and coach. Barry advocates pragmatic compromise, acknowledging neither side emerges victorious through prolonged standoff. The competing interests create diplomatic nightmare requiring delicate navigation. Consider historical context. Cleveland's quarterback graveyard contains countless cautionary tales, from Couch to Manziel, from Quinn to Kaiser. The franchise repeatedly mismanaged quarterback development. Now, with legitimate talent available, they're potentially repeating identical mistakes through different mechanisms. Rather than lacking talent, they're squandering it through organizational dysfunction. The pattern continues despite personnel changes, suggesting deeper institutional issues requiring comprehensive examination. National implications emerge rapidly. Other teams monitoring situation prepare contingency plans. If Sanders becomes available through trade or eventual release, multiple organizations possess draft capital and roster situations accommodating immediate integration. The Cowboys, Raiders, Panthers, and Giants allegedly maintaining active interest. Each franchise recognizing Sanders' talent transcends typical fifth-round projection. His availability would trigger bidding war, with Cleveland receiving minimal return given compromised leverage. Training camp concludes shortly. Preseason finale approaches. Regular season looms. Without resolution, Browns enter meaningful competition with fractured quarterback room, divided locker room, furious fan base, national ridicule. Defensive coordinators salivate anticipating organizational chaos, creating competitive advantages. Division rivals particularly excited watching Cleveland implode before October. The Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals couldn't script better scenario for their championship aspirations. The ultimate question persists. Can this relationship be salvaged? Sources suggest window closing rapidly. Each passing day hardens positions. Sanders' absence becomes normalized. Gabriel establishes rhythm with first-team offense. The situation crystallizes toward permanent separation. One league executive observed, "If the Browns lose Shedeur Sanders right now, they don't just lose a QB, they lose the fans." That statement encapsulates everything. This transcends quarterback evaluation toward franchise identity. Cleveland spent decades building reputation as dysfunctional organization where careers die. Recently, they've attempted cultural transformation through stability, competence, and collaboration. Current situation threatens destroying progress instantly. Losing Sanders wouldn't just represent talent departure, but cultural regression toward familiar dysfunction. Stefanski faces career-defining decision: maintain authority while potentially losing generational talent and fan base support, or acknowledge mistake, demonstrate flexibility, and preserve organizational stability. Neither option appears palatable, yet delay worsens everything. His legacy potentially determined through this single situation's resolution. The coach who finally stabilized Cleveland, or another failed leader contributing toward quarterback graveyard. History awaits his decision. For Sanders, this moment represents more than contract dispute or playing time argument. This establishes precedent for career trajectory. Accept disrespect now, normalize it forever, stand firm immediately, command respect permanently. His decision influences not just Cleveland tenure, but entire professional journey. The pressure immense, yet he appears remarkably composed. Sources describe him training privately, maintaining conditioning, preparing for whatever comes next. That mental fortitude separates special players from roster fillers. As Monday afternoon transitions toward evening, Browns facility remains tense. Meetings continue. Phones ring constantly. Media speculation intensifies. Fans refresh social media, desperately seeking updates. The organization paralyzed, awaiting resolution. Nobody seems capable of providing. This isn't how championship foundations are built. This represents how promising seasons implode before beginning. Professional football demands more than talent accumulation. Success requires organizational alignment, clear communication, mutual respect between management levels. Cleveland currently demonstrates none of these characteristics. Instead, they're providing masterclass in dysfunction, reminding everyone why certain franchises remain perpetually unsuccessful despite resources, market size, and fan support. Will Sanders return? Will Stefanski survive? Will Brown salvage season? These questions dominate Cleveland's consciousness, yet bigger question looms. When will this organization finally learn from repeated mistakes? The answer determines whether Browns escape perpetual dysfunction or remain cautionary tale for properly managing quarterback talent. The situation continues evolving. Stay vigilant for updates. One thing remains certain: Cleveland Browns transformed from preseason optimism toward full-blown quarterback chaos in record time. That's institutional failure, requiring immediate correction before another season disappears into familiar disappointment.